Hello, everybody. I am myself, maybe. But anyway, I am going to be reading some creepypasta stories on Reddit because I'm bored. And if you can't hear me, I am very sorry. I just do not want to show my full face yet. Anyway. Is anyone interested in listening, to some creepypasta stories? Someone commented, no. No. Like, you don't want to read the story? What the hell? Creepypasta stories. Let's look at, that was very interesting. Great. Pale Luna, if it'll work. Haha, it'll work. What the hell? Normal porn for normal people. That's what something is called on here. Ha 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 ha. Pale Luna. Goatman? The Goatman! For those who watch Whaley and Puff, I love you. Like, not in a weird way, but... Oh, God. I don't want to do all this reading. Great. In the last decade and a half, oh my God. I already messed up. Great. It's become infinitely easier to obtain exactly what you're looking for by way of a couple of keystrokes. The internet has made it all too simple to use a computer to change reality. An abundance of information is merely a search engine away, to the point where it's hard to imagine life as any different. My eyes are like burning from this light. Oh my God. Yet, a generation ago, when the words streaming and torrent were meaningless, save for conversations about water. Sorry, I can't read apparently. I swear I can read, just not out loud. Okay, get this off my goddamn screen, bro. Anyway, I'm gonna retry that. What? Hey, go away. What the hell? Yet, a generation ago, when the words streaming and torrent were meaningless save for conversation about water, people met face to face to conduct software swap parties, trading games, and applications on Sharpie labeled 5¼ inch floppies. What the hell is a floppy? I'm pretty stupid. I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh, sorry, I read ahead. Of course, most of the time, the meets were a way for frugal, community-minded individuals to trade popular games like King's Quest and Maniac Mansion amongst themselves. However, a few early programming talents designed their own computer games to share amongst their circle of acquaintances who oh my God. who in turn would pass them on until, if fun and well designed enough, and I swear, I can read at times. Where was I? An independently developed game had its place in collection of aficionados across the country. Think of it as the 80s equivalent equivalent of a viral video. Pale Luna, on the other hand, was never circulated outside the San Francisco what? San Francisco San Francis Francis from the Sun and Moon Show, apparently. Francis Francisco finally. San Francisco Bay Area. All known copies have long been disposed of. All computers that have ever run the game now detritus buried under layers of filth and polystyrene. The fact is attributed by a number of rather abstruse design and choice made by his programmer. Man, this story is boring. But I started it. I gotta finish it. Pale Luna was a text adventure in the vein Zork and the Lurking Horror. It is a simple word. Why can't you read it? At a time when she said genre was swiftly going out of fashion. Upon booting up the program, the player was presented with an almost completely Frank from the Sun and Moon Show. I'm sorry. Does anybody else miss their old videos? Because, their newer videos are pretty okay, as well as the Lunar and Earth Show, at times, and, Eclipse and Saturn Show. I missed the Eclipse and Puppet Show, not Saturn. I stopped watching that one, actually. Anyway, where was I? Upon booting up the program, the player was presented with an almost completely blank screen, except for the text. You are in a dark room. Moonlight shines through the window. There is gold in the corner, along with a shovel and a rope. There is a door to the east. Command? I don't know why I read it like that. Oh, how did I? Oh! Ah! I'm sorry. I don't even know what I did. So began the game that one one writer for a long out of print fanzines decried as enigmatic, nonsensical, and completely unplayable, as the only commands that would accept were pick up gold, pick up shovel, pick up rope, open door, go east. The player was soon presented with the following. Help. I don't know what. Reap your reward. Pale Luna smiles at you. You are in a forest or a path to the north, west, and east. Command? I can't. little break. How much more? Oh my god, there's a lot left of this story. Oh, I don't want to read this. What quickly infuriated the few who played this game was the confusing and buggy nature of the second screen onward, only of the directional decisions that would be the correct one. For example, on this occasion, a command to go in a direction other than north would lead to the system freezing, requiring the operator to hard reboot the entire computer. Furthermore, any subsequent screens seem to merely repeat the above text, with the difference being only the directions available. Worse still, the standard text adventure commands to be appear to be useless. The only accepted non-movement related prompts were use gold, which caused the game to display the message, not here. Use shovel, which brought up, not now. And use rope, which prompted the text, you already used this. Most who played the game progressed a couple... Where was I? A couple of screens into it before becoming fed up of having to constantly reboot their devices and tossing the disc in disgust, writing off the experience as a shoddily programmed farce. However, there is one thing about the world of computers that remains true. No matter the era, some people who use them have way too much time on their hands. A young man by the name of Michael Nevins decided to see if there was more to Pale Luna than what met the eye. 5 hours and 33 screens worth of trial and error and unplugged computer cords later, he finally managed to make the game display different text. Text in this new area read, Pale Luna smiles wide. There are no paths. Pale Luna smiles wide. The ground is soft. Pale Luna smiles wide. Here. Command. It was another hour still before Nevin stumbled upon the proper combination of phrases to make the game progress any further. Dig hole, drop gold, then fill hole. This caused the screen to display, Congratulations! 40.24284. What? 248. Then negative 121.4434, upon which the game ceased to accept commands, requiring the user to reboot one last time. After some deliberation, Nevins came to the conclusion that the numbers referred to lines of latitude and longitude. The coordinates lead to a point in the sprawling forest that dominated the nearby Lassen Volcanic Park. As he possessed much more free time than sense, Nevins vowed to see Pale Luna to its ending. Big mistake, by the way, maybe. I actually don't know. The next day, armed with a map, a compass, a shovel, he navigated the park's trail, noting with amusement how each turn he made corresponded roughly to those that he took in-game. Though he initially regretted bringing the cumbersome digging tool on a mere hunch, the past similarity all but confirmed his suspicions that the journey would end with him face to face with an eccentric buried treasure. Out of breath after a tricky struggle to the coordinates, he was pleasantly surprised by a literal stumble upon a patch of uneven dirt. Shoveling as excitedly as he was, it would be an understatement to say that he was taken aback when his heavy strokes unearthed the badly decomposed head of a blonde-haired little girl. Oh my god. I am actually not sure if this video will get, like, taken down. Oh, but that poor girl. Oh. Nevins promptly reported the situation to the authorities. The girl was identified as Karen Polson, 11. Reported as missing to the San Diego Police Department a year and a half prior. Oh my god. We're getting near the end of the story. Wait, is that Pale Luna? Wait, no. Because the name's Luna. What the fuck am I thinking? Efforts were made to track down the programmer of Pale Luna, but the nearly anonymous legal gray area in which the software swapping community operated inescapably led to many dead ends. Collectors have been known to offer upwards of 6 figures for an authentic copy of the game. The rest of Karen's body was never found. So the game basically is leading you to a dead body. My god. That's kind of sad, actually. That poor girl. Where am I going now? Anasi's Goatman story. That's the one I was gonna read earlier. I don't really want to read this anymore. There is a lot on here. Oh my god. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of swearing in this one. Hey, ready to see like how much I have to scroll down to get to the bottom of this page? Wait, hold on. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Keep my hand on my mouse fully at the top. It's quite the long story. I really want to read this one. I want to read He Does Birthdays. This is very bright. This page does not exist. What about Red Sky at Night? Page does not exist. Really? Oh my god, I've heard of the Expressionless, actually. That story is so cool. The most that I know is that it was like a mannequin looking girl. I don't even know if she was real or not. And she would have like no expression on her face. Like ever. And it would like freak the hell out of people. So, is it not gonna let me read it? For list of popular deleted pages, click here. Fantasy horror. Due to licensing issues, we are no longer able to host the expression list on this wiki. I need the story. That's not very expressionless. Sorry, that's not very expressionless. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry. I've been watching a lot of Thrill Fest lately. Snack break. My jaw hurts from reading. Oh. Anyway, in June 1972, a woman appeared in Cedar Sinai Hotel in Los Angeles, California, in nothing but a white, blood-covered gown. Now this in its what? Now this in itself should not be too surprising, as people often have accidents nearby and come to the nearest hospital for medical attention. But there were two things that caused people who saw her to vomit and flee in terror. Ugh. The first thing being that she wasn't exactly human. She resembled something close to a mannequin, but had the dexterity and fluidity of a normal human being. Her face was as flawless as a mannequin's, devoid of eyebrows and smeared in makeup. There was a kitten clamped in her jaws so unnaturally tight that no teeth could be seen. And the blood was still squirting out over her gown and onto the floor. Then she pulled it out of her mouth, tossed it aside, and collapsed. I'm sorry? Okay, so the videos I've seen on this, they never told me that. What? Okay. Stress line. I don't have my whale. I don't have my stress whale. From the moment she stepped through the entrance when she was taken to a hospital room and cleaned up before being prepped for sedation, she was completely calm, expressionless, and motionless. The doctors thought it best to restrain her until the authorities could arrive, and she did not protest. They were unable to get any kind of response from her, and most staff members felt too uncomfortable to look directly at her for more than a few seconds. But the second the staff tried to sedate her, she fought back with extreme force. 2 members of staff had to hold her down as her body rose up on the bed with that same blank expression. She turned her emotionless eyes towards the male doctor and did something unusual. She smiled. Oh my god, people smiling? That's so scary. To be honest, I'm actually not trying to make fun of the people with physiosomatophoobia, which is the fear of smiling faces. I don't have that, but if you do, I feel so bad, actually. Anyway, I think I'll actually talk about phobias in a different video. New video idea. I need a lot more video ideas. Anyway. As she did, the female doctor screamed and let go in shock. In the woman's mouth were not human teeth, but long, sharp spikes. Oh, Kirishima! With the shark teeth. It took... Oh my god, how did I get... What? Too long for her mouth to close fully without causing any damage. ... The male doctor stared back at her for a moment before asking, "What in the hell are you?" She cracked her neck down to her shoulder to observe him, still smiling. There was a long pause. The security had been alerted and could be heard coming down the hallway. As she heard them approach, she darted forward, sinking her teeth into the front of his throat, ripping out his jugular and letting him fall to the floor, gasping for air as he choked on his own blood. Okay, I really am not sure if I'll be allowed to post this or not. She stood up and leaned over him, her face coming dangerously close to his as the life faded from his eyes. She leaned in closer and whispered in his ear, "I am God." Anyway, the doctor's eyes filled with fear as he watched her calmly walk away to greet the security men. His last ever sight would be watching her feast on them one by one. The female doctor who survived that incident named her the Expressionless. There was never a sighting of her again. That's it. That's all that's left of the story. 3-minute read. Yeah, not for me. I don't even know how long that took, actually. Okay. What other stories? One sec. I can crack my neck a lot. Can I crack my fingers? I need to recharge a bit more. Okay, I need to think of a creepypasta that I know nothing about. Oh my god, one of my literal favorites, Lost Silver. I know nothing about him. What the fuck? Sorry, pardon my language. I'm really sorry. But what the hell is that in the world? Okay. Nope. I spelled silver wrong. Nope. Fan art. That's the first thing that popped up when I searched up Lost Silver. I don't want to read all that. Oh! Yay! Full story on Lost Silver. I have more slime on my hands. What the hell? Wait, 1 second. Oh. I'm going on to Creepypasta Wiki. Okay. Shush. Okay. What the hell? I'm reading these trending searches, and the top ones are Jeff the Killer, Eilish Jack, Jane the Killer, Slenderman. Why don't I watch porn anymore? Sonic.exe. What? Huh? Anyway, trying to think of somebody other than Lost Silver. I had a whole list of creepypastas. Why can't I think of them? I have to check my sketchbook because I wrote down all their names at one point. I mean, I guess there's like Clockwork. I don't really like Clockwork. I know what that means. Haha. Huh. Okay, so like other than like Slender Brothers, I know Toby, Masky, Hoodie, Kate, Jeff, oh, Laughing Jack, Eilish Jack, Ben Drowned, Bloody Painter, Lou, Homicidal Lou, I know their stories. And I'm also missing like half the creepypastas. So I guess I can search up. Should I look at Zero? I'm not really like. I don't like her as much as I do for others. And who cares? There's a lot of creepypastas I don't like. Oh, it's like nothing for her. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Oh wait, there's literally nothing about her. Oh, my baby. Okay, different creepypasta then. Puppeteer. Sorry. Okay. In recent weeks, I have begun to remember the details of my brother's death. I was only 7 years old when it happened, and I never truly remembered it till now. Oh, poor puppeteer. I don't even know what his real name is, by the way. I guess I should tell you about the days preceding the killing, or at least the unusual things. My brother and I were we're a good 13 years apart in age. Don't ask. And our parents were getting a divorce, so I lived with him either way. I lived with him, so either way I wasn't pulled on to one side or the other. The judge wanted the most impartial decision I could give. That was why I lived with my brother in the weeks before his death. His girlfriend was pregnant then. What? Wait. Only 7 when it happened, near 13 years apart. So I think he was like 20, his brother. Sorry, I had to count it up. I'm not that good at math right now. I'm learning math on Duolingo. It doesn't work. Anyways. And she thought of me as practice for being a good mother. So, of course, she was a tad clingy, but I loved the attention I was getting. I slept in what was going to be the nursery, and then I simply passed the thought. But now I'm thinking that what I saw those nights were a premonition of sorts to what was yet to come. Every night, like clockwork, I'd see a tall, ominous shadow pass over the window. I never saw a face or any real details at all, just a shadow. I can only describe it as tall, thin, and wearing a top hat, like Abraham Lincoln wore. Usually just like he wore. That's not too sad. What? Sometimes I would hear laughing, like a deep voice, far deeper than my brother's laugh. Okay, good to know. Other times I would hear sounds like muffled screams. But I'd cover my head with my blanket and plug my ears. Eventually, I'd fall asleep. I never told my brother about it, but once I told his girlfriend, she passed it off as a nightmare. I recently looked at some of my better... Sorry, I have to, peel this off. Anyway. Where was I? I was not there yet. I recently looked at some of my better drawings, and one consistent thing was in them. What? One consistent thing in them was the shadow. There we go. Most of the time, the shadow appears as much, but not as its own essence. But as the main object shadow. Except for one time, my nose is itchy. It was during the time period I was writing this. I woke up at my drawing table with the art piece finished. It was him, the dream or memory of the night I drew. The night I drew it was the first time I saw the shadow's face. Oh. So this is like the main victim's POV. Good to know. I mean, I didn't think why. I didn't know why I thought it would be Puppeteer. I can only call him by one name, Puppeteer. The night is still a blur, but I do remember the first time since I saw the shadow. He stopped at my window. I guess I can't trust his memory because I was 7 and it's been years, but still. I now remember the shadow disappearing and then appearing above me. Puppeteer was bent down because he was so tall. How tall is he? But his face was like a mask. 1 second. I don't even know if I spelled Puppeteer right. I didn't. No, I did. I don't even know. He's 6'3". Damn. I just messed that up. Oops. I have to wait for this to load now. Hello. Aha. Get rid of that now. Let's see. I lost it now. Puppeteer. Oh no. I don't know where to go. No, I lost the story. Oh my god, I'm stupid. I guess this one maybe? Yeah, I found it. Yeah, I touch his face and... I just got interrupted by a say goodbye to sagging breasts. Woman over 50 love this, bro. What? What? That's no thanks. Ha, thank you for going away. Yeah, I touched his face and it felt like skin. I knew it wasn't makeup. It was his skin. His face looked like large scales, except for his mouth, which was like a nutcracker's. One eyed show the dark blue scales it danced with insanity, yet with hurt and sorrow as well. One sec, I need to search up what puppeteer looks like. Sorry. Oh, wait, no, I found a better one. It's of the only person I ship him with. As in, bloody. I ship a lot of gay stuff. I don't know. Why do they look like that? I'm going back to the first photo, which is this one. Which is Joe Sagati. I love his so much. They actually give a lot of detail. Give it that. He didn't hurt me. In fact, I don't recall being scared at all. He spoke in a language I couldn't quite make out, but as soon as he understood, I didn't know what. He spoke a language I couldn't quite make out, but as soon as he understood, I didn't know the language. He disappeared. The next time I saw him was when he killed my brother. Oh. I didn't even see the shadows after that night, but I remember that night like it was yesterday. I finally saw Puppeteer's shadow, so I ran into my brother's room. Puppeteer was standing over him, bent at the waist with his nutcracker mouth, sucking a black essence from my brother. Oh my god, it reminds me of Life of Luxury with Tommy, how he would like drink his mother's soul, I guess. I don't even know what it was. I'm gonna have to check that later. That was how my brother died. And now and then, since I recovered my memories, I have seen Puppeteer on occasion. Always before the death of a murder. Wait a second. So every time this person, like, saw Puppeteer, it was right before he killed someone? Oh no, before the death of a murderer. I don't know. Now I'm confused. I know he did something to me because my nephew, Jason. Jason. Jason the toy maker? Jason Voorhees? Which Jason? Is clearly 90, and yet I'm younger than one of his great-grandchildren. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. The first two things I think of when I hear Jason are Jason Voorhees and Jason the Toymaker. You can't see my hands. Oh god, we're getting to the end. Hey, now you can see my hand. Sorry. I stopped aging once I hit the age of 20. I never am bothered by this, since I only wanted knowledge, not love or money. Jason told his children and their children and their children about Puppeteer. He has become the symbol of my family. Whether it is a good symbol or bad, I know not of yet. I do believe it is good. No one in my family since my brother's death had ever had bad deaths. They have all died peacefully. My sister, or my late brother's girlfriend died peacefully. My sister, my late brother's girlfriend. Wait a second. If my calculations are correct, Sweet Home Alabama. Her last words were, "Thank you for bringing him and me both to heaven." My jaw hurts from reading. Then she died. I can only imagine that out of guilt, Puppeteer took my brother's soul to heaven. I saw him once, 50 years ago. Puppeteer came to in... What? Puppeteer came to in the dead of night and spoke a phrase and disappeared. I knocked on death's door. I wish he answered. Oh, wow. Okay. Damn. So we got Puppeteer. Oh my god, I also know Candy Pops. Candy Pop wasn't on there. I did spell Jason wrong. Oh, it doesn't have a capital. Nope. So, there's nothing for Jason. Oh my god, Jason the Toymaker isn't on here. Ted. Oh my god, there's nothing on Ted the Caver. Oh, thank god. There is something on Ted the Caver. I have heard a lot about this guy. What the hell? It was the same one that I got interrupted by before. Oh, hell no. Wait, hold on. What year is that? 2023, maybe? Rake. I don't know enough about him. The Rake! The Whaler? Oh, that sounds cool. I have a plushie of SCP-096, and for like half of my life I thought that it was the Rake. It was in fact not. What am I getting interrupted by now? Nothing. Thank you. There's a lot on here. During the summer of 2003, events in the northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked brief local media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted. Little or no information was left intact. Most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused on rural New York State and ones found in Idaho, self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic events what? Levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity, while their published versions are no longer on record. The memories remain powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dating between... I breathed out and it burned my eyeball. Ugh. Hey, that made my jaw stop hurting. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dating between the 12th century and the present day, spanning four continents. In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group, and I was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book. Marnier's log, 1691. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not come here again at the request of the rake. Yo. A journal entry, translated from Spanish, 1880. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They were hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand... I'm sorry. I will not sleep. His voice. Unintelligible text. Oh. Self-harm note, 1964. It does not say self-harm, but I do not want to say the word. Who cares? A suicide note. I feel so bad. As I prepare to take my life... Oh no. Oh no. I'm not sure I can do this anymore. I feel it necessary to assume any... assuage any guilt or pain I've introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once, I awoke and felt his presence, and once I woke and saw his form. Once again, I awoke and heard his voice, and looked into his eyes. I could not sleep without fear of what might happen, what I might next awaken to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rosie, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Linny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. From a witness, 2006. Hey, I'm pretty sure 2006 was when the first creepypasta was ever made, as in, Ted the Caver, I believe. What's that? What was the first ever creepypasta? Yeah, Ted the Caver. Oh, in 2001. Huh. That was like 25 years ago. They were 25 years old? Goddamn. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip to Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids straight to bed and called it a night. At about 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gone up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets, only to wake him in the process. I apologized and told him I thought he was out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet up from the end of the bed so quickly his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. Then he then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, sitting facing away from us, was what appeared to be a naked man or a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. My husband was peering over his arm and knee, tucking into the fetal position, occasionally glancing at me, before returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, it scrambled around the side of the bed, then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of some way, right along the covers until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. It was completely silent for about 30 seconds, probably closer to 5, but it seemed like a while, just looking at my husband, then placed a hand on his knee and ran to the hallway, leading to the kids' room. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop this thing before it hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, a light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching and hunched over about 20 feet away. It turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. My face under my mask right now? Jaw dropped. Oh my god. I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter, Clara. The creature ran down the stairs as my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "He is the rake." My husband drove in his car to a lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. They did not survive. Sorry. Being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published, as the local television news never followed up either. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the next town over who had a similar story. We got in contact and talked about our experiences. There's a hair in my slime. I need to get it out. Sorry. He knew 2 other people in New York. Oh, I found it. Sorry. What happened? Where'd it go? Oh. You know what? Just get rid of that piece of slime. Sorry. Where was I? Another one. Great. He knew of 2 other people in New York who had seen the creature we now refer to as the rake. It took the 4 of us 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believed to be accounts of the rake. None of them gave any detailed history or follow-up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in its first 3 pages, and they never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying only that they were told to leave by the rake. That was the last entry in the log. See this? Slime. I need to put this away, actually. Sorry. There were many instances where the creature's visit was one series of the visit in the same person. Multiple people also mentioned being spoke to, my daughter included. This led us to wonder if the rake had visited any of us before our last encounter. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night, every night for 2 weeks. I would tendlessly scan through the sounds of me rolling around in my sleep each day when I woke up. By the end of the second week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while blurring through the recording at 8 times the normal speed. It still took almost an hour every day. On the first day of the third week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the rake. I can't listen to it long enough to begin to transcribe it. I haven't let anyone listen to it yet. All I know is that I've heard it before. And I believe that it spoke when it was sitting in front of my husband. I don't remember hearing things at the time, but for some reason, the voice on the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thoughts that must have gone through my daughter's head made me very upset. I have not seen the rake since he ruined my life, but I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know in fear that one night I'll wake up and see him staring at me. Oh my god, this is over an hour long. So I will cut it off there. And if anyone wants me to do more of these, I will search up more creepypasta stories. You just have to give me creepypastas to search up the stories of. So thank you guys for listening. If you have watched all the way through this, it's over an hour long. I'm very sorry. My jaw hurts a lot, but once again, thank you. Au revoir.